just have to blow it out there.
We might.
Just don't blow it over on the front page.
I know she's not answering her email saying that she's out of the office until
The officer
the
run
Wednesday.
the call quick, but as soon as he gets back here, we're going to do this.
Yep, go ahead and take a seat.
Take it on. You need these?
No, we have a wedding.
Might be blowing that candle out.
Well, I'm going to be around either, but
Yes, she's not outside yet, so we'll get
For
started.
the first.
Beep, beep, beep.
Diane comes out of the closet. You need me to reach it for you?
No, it's just not. There we go.
I didn't want to read.
Are we on? Are we live?
We're not even memorized.
Just so you know that we're not on charter tonight because our charter box died too, so.
Yes.
As of today.
It's all we need.
Okay.
Okay, we will start the regular city council meeting for Tuesday, May 28th. We'll start with pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I know that Memorial Day was yesterday, but I thought that it would be a good idea Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerry. Happy birthday to you.
Wish her a happy birthday. Her phone number is.
Sorry, I'm a year older, so I'm
A little slower.
Oh, she's using that.
a little slower.
Thank you, everybody.
By the way, Jeff did that. We just looked at it.
We just did it.
Thank you.
So I was saying that I know Memorial Day was yesterday, but I thought doesn't hurt to just have one more moment of silence to thank all those men and women that have gave their lives so that we can all be here today. Okay, with that, does anybody in the audience want to bless us today? Nobody ever wants to do the invocation anymore. Okay, so agenda.
Mayor, I'm going to there was a couple of changes, but due to a couple circumstances, we're going to move things back around again. But so before we approve the agenda, what I'd like to do is go to, on your sheets, number 4, oath of office for Council Member Brian Heinrich. So if we could go to that first, so we can have him come up here and sit between Seth and I. So
Oh,
we can do that first. Okay. All right. What we need you to do is come on up to the stand. That's the microphone. The microphones aren't great here, so we like to talk loud. And so raise your right hand and read that for us, and we'll get you sworn in.
Okay. I, Brian Heinrichs, do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the State of Minnesota and the Charter of Ordinance of the City of Tracy, and do faithfully discharge the duties devolving upon me as a City Council member for the City of Tracy to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you.
Yay.
Come on up and sit down.
Nice that you brought an audience.
Yeah, welcome to the bunch.
Okay, Mayor, we're going to go ahead and approve the agenda now. I'm going to, with the number 5, with the award, that's going to be something that we're going to put in when we have another person that got called away quick. Whenever that person gets here, we'll go to that. They just pulled up a second ago? Maybe, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written then.
Second.
First and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, let's go ahead and open the public hearing up. Let's do that. So we've got A, ordinance number 388, allowing R1 as special use permit in an I1. What this is the new UCAP houses that are going to be going in. That's listed as an I1 out there. So UCAP hasn't really done anything with that yet. So so we haven't really done any of the zoning in the city, so it's not their fault. So what we need to do is changing ordinance number 388, allowing a residential one as special use permit in I1. So can you open up that public hearing, please?
We will open up the public hearing for ordinance number 388. If there's anybody that would like to talk about that or comments about that? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing for that.
Close that, and then we need a vote on that. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 388, allowing the R1 as a special use permit in the I1.
Second?
First and second, any other discussion?
Could I ask, Mayor, is the planning commission then going to be working then and to rezone that?
Good question. Yes, actually, good question. That is actually the first step is going to be next Monday, where you have Southwest Development going to be here, a Chad that's going to come down here, and we're going to go over a plan for the whole city. It's something that we talked about at one time. It should have been done when we had the comprehensive plan done, but he's coming back here on Monday so we can start that process. But yes, that is the plan, is to not only look at that area, but the rest of the area in town that is not zoned correctly. This was just the correct way to do it.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jakes,
Aye.
Radisson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Landay,
Aye.
Mayor Corbin.
Aye.
I don't get to say anything?
Okay, the new guy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. I'm so sorry. I don't have you on my new sheets
He
yet.
was starting to shrink in his chair.
Brian.
Okay, let's, before we open up the second public hearing, let's go up to number 5 with that presentation, if we could, please. Chief Lichty's going to take care of that.
Good evening. So I'd like Officer Erickson to step up here, and Mr. Hiller. Would you come up also, please? So a while back, I presented that we got new AEDs for our squad cars for off of a grant from the state. And our first really good success story is Mr. Hiller. And Officer Erickson on May 8th used one of these to start his heart. So tonight, Officer Erickson doesn't know, but tonight he's getting a Lifesaver Award for doing it. And you can introduce yourself.
So I'm Ann Jensen. I'm the Southwest EMS.
You can come on up to the mic.
I'm Ann Jensen. I'm the Southwest EMS Regional Program Coordinator. So I have an 18-county region in Southwest Minnesota that I support fire, ambulance, law, and first responders. And I've been here 10 years and have maybe given 5 of these. So this is a big deal. You know, he had the knowledge, he had the training, and he had the equipment to do a life-saving procedure. So, and it's super, super cool that the patient's here as well. So to you, here's a pin, and a Lifesaving Award, and packets, Lifesavers.
So we'd like to get a picture of all of you, all 4 of you up here with the council.
What would come?
Yep, come on through here.
Come through back there.
Yeah.
I think they can be
I
in the
just want to
picture
say something
themselves.
too,
That's enough.
I just want to say that the city of Tracy is honored to have Mr. Erickson as part of our police force.
Great.
Thank you.
Let's get a little closer.
Yeah, I think that's more appropriate.
I don't bite.
We're not that important.
Big smile, Adam.
Okay, we ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Everyone but you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
That is so cool. Always nice when you get those good stories.
Thank you, everybody.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
I just want to kind of add an exclamation mark to that award that was just presented. Tracy is so fortunate to have the responders that we have to handle these life-saving moments. We are just really fortunate. I say that with all sincerity. And also, just in the last month, I had an example that happened as someone that I know really well, and not from Tracy, but it illustrates the importance of CPR training to the general public. And this individual's heart stopped late at night, and it just so happened that his daughter was there, and she had just the week before done a CPR training, and she knew just what to do, and if it hadn't been for her, he wouldn't be here today. So just those 2 points, but thank you very much.
You know, that is why we need to support our local police and ambulance and fire departments, and because if you don't have them, you have to wait for a county when they get here. Sometimes
It'd be too late.
yeah.
Thank you for coming in tonight.
Right.
Bye.
All right, Mayor, let's go to B, Resolution 2024-54, granting special use permit to UCAP. That would be the special use of what was just above it with the ordinance number 388. So we got to open up that public hearing, if you would, please.
We have a public hearing for the
Yep, it's 2 different public hearings, yep.
Okay, we will open up the public hearing for the resolution 2024-54 granting special use permit to UCAP. Anybody in the audience like to talk about that? Oh, hearing none. I guess we'll take roll call.
I'll close the meeting.
Well, let's close the meeting. Sorry, close the meeting, and then we will ask for some.
I'll make a motion.
That's, Dave, you got that?
Oh, I have to do that one?
Yep.
I'm reading this.
Yep.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve the special use permit upon the successful implementation and requirements for the approval of ordinance number 388.
You can second that, Jerry.
You can.
I'll second it then.
Okay, with the first and second, do we have roll call, please?
Arvisu,
Yes.
Rende,
Aye.
Heinrichs. Don't get it yet. Schmidt,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Cheeks,
Aye.
Mayor Corbin.
Aye. Okay, is there anybody in the audience that would like to talk about something that is not on the agenda today? All right, we'll move on to the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 13th council minutes, approve municipal accounts payable and payroll without breakthrough beverage, approve the municipal accounts receivable, approve resolution 2024-55 to accept a donation from Edward Jones to the library fund, approve resolution 2024-56 to approve the election judges for the primary election.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a first and second. Any discussion?
I just got a couple questions, Mayor. In page 2 of the accounts payable, we've got a $150 item for INS Group for Phase 3A.2 engineering. Is that something that was kind of or what is that? Just kind of the tail end of that project?
Yeah, we have just one, is it?
For $150?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, and we have one more pay app that's going to be coming from M&R Paving, and that will be it.
Okay. And then one other thing on, we've got a $300 item on the payee as the Department of Navy for PD Night Vision grant. Is that like a matching grant for our local contribution?
No, so that is an annual grant that I restore with the Navy, and what they do is they loan us a very high-tech piece of night vision equipment, and every 3 years we can trade that in for a newer, more modern piece of night vision equipment, and they loan it out to us on a $300 copay, basically. So it's something that our department could never afford on their own, but through this grant process and the $300, they let us hold on to it for a couple of years.
Great program.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Teagues,
Aye.
Landay,
Aye.
Hendricks,
Aye.
Schoens,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Mayor Carmen.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable to Breakthrough Beverage.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion for that one? Roll call, please.
Schoens,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Aye.
Landay,
Aye.
Mayor Carmen.
Aye. So we are going into mayor council communication. The first thing that I wanted to say is I am wearing my Burgers, Bands, and Brew t-shirt tonight so that all of you in TV land know that it's happening this Saturday, June 1st. Starts at 4:30 at Central Park. It's $15. You can invite your friends, your families, your enemies, bring them all. So it's $15. You get a burger, you get a cold brew, you get the music. There's tasting that night. And besides that, you get to spend it with all of us. So anyway, it's a great thing. You can get your tickets in the city office. You can get them at Men West. You can get them... No, right?
Boxcar Liquors,
I thought Men West had it.
Men, the
They
bank.
do have some.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Midwest.
Men West. Men West Bank. Sorry, I better clarify that. And then Boxcar Liquor. So anyway, we hope to see y'all out there. The night before, don't we kick it off with the movie in the park? And
Yep, on Friday, the pool opens up, and then Friday night, there's movies in the park with bouncy houses. And so that will be going on to kind of the kickoff to
Kickoff
summer.
to summer.
Yep, and then Saturday, just like to tell you that it's also the, most of the proceeds will go to the Tracy Area Community Foundation too.
yes, I'm glad you added that.
I have just a question. I haven't looked ahead to the weather. If we would have inclement weather, what would we do?
We would have to make that decision that night or that day. Yep.
It would possibly be an hour. No.
Saturday, it's supposed to be cloudy and 77.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, there's a chance of rain. We will probably since there's a cover over the band, will rain or shine.
Bring your umbrella.
Bring
if
your umbrella, yes,
necessary.
just in case, and a light jacket maybe.
So, and the thing about the Tracy Area Foundation is that, in case people in Tracy don't know, but all that money goes right back here to Tracy.
Yep,
right?
yep, yep, not other foundations, but it goes to all kinds of groups here in Tracy, whether it's a school or whether it's private groups, or we've given a lot of money away to the last 3 years now. We've given actually over $10,000 in the last 3 years away to civic groups.
So it's a fun night. They're great bands. Come join us, and all the money helps the city of Tracy. So the other thing that I wanted to mention for the mayor council communication is, Tom, do you want to come up and talk about the Legion?
Today, Dave Dieter, our Legion Post Commander, dropped into the office, and they would like to do what's called a flag retirement ceremony. They would like to do this Friday, June 14th, which is Flag Day, and they would like to do this in Central Park. The location in Central Park will have to kind of be determined as to whether it'll be in the tennis court area with on the tar, because part of the retirement is actually burning the flag and a ceremony. So that will be 6:30 p.m. Friday, June 14th. And if you do have flags that are tattered and torn, you can either drop those off here at the city offices, or you can actually drop them at Legion. The entrance, the foyer there is open, and there's actually a plastic tub there to leave flags that you would like to have then decommissioned that evening. So I thought that was going to be a very, very nice event. Does anybody have, and I'm saying this for TV Land as well as the rest of you, any contacts with either local Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, or Girl Scouts organizations? We'd like to invite them to that. It's I remember back 100 years ago when I was in Scouts, that was actually a merit badge to attend an event like that, or to know how to actually take care of a torn flag and the ceremony that's associated with it. And I think that'd be a good thing to pass on to another generation as well. So if anybody has any contacts, please reach out and let me know, and I'll get that to Dave.
Awesome.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I have something
Under there? Yeah, you do too. So you want to do yours next?
I don't know.
You're fine.
You can.
I would like to propose to the council and the mayor, this community center project, we downsize the committee to 2 council members and the work group, so that they can pick through what ball it come with and see if they can get it sized down to where we can afford it, or community can afford it. And by always having the full council, it takes so long and nobody gets nothing done. This, I think, would streamline it once we can get some things figured out, and more than likely downsized or something else, whatever it takes to make it work. Then bring it back to the council to review, and if they want to meet with the whole committee at that time, good. The more you're in it, the better. But I think in the real world, not council world, a lot of committees, church committees, co-op boards, they downsize the committee to 2 or 3 people, help get it all kind of organized, and then bring it back to the main board or main council to review and pick it apart at that time.
I like that idea. Thank you for bringing it up.
I would like to have your permission to do that. I guess I would volunteer to be 1. Need 1 more.
No more than 3.
Okay. 2 more then, whatever.
No more than 3. It can be 2, just not 4.
I would like to serve also.
Okay.
Okay.
First off, is that acceptable to the rest of you? I'm not trying to take you out of the picture, just trying to streamline it a little bit so we can either get going or get going.
Well, George, actually, I was kind of thinking prior to this meeting of something along the same lines. So I support your idea, and my idea was to have, that's great that you and Jen volunteered, but maybe to give the mayor the authority to officially appoint the people on the committee, and maybe the work group could be kind of reduced to a couple people too, just to kind of get. I mean,
Yeah, which is true. They might should be too, actually. Because then you're gonna end up with the same thing.
I mean, if you're thinking of reducing so you can get a little better consensus and discussion without such a large group, I think you need to decrease both sides. I mean, it's like, if we have a concern or a question, we come to you guys that we know you're gonna be on this subcommittee or whatever. And same with the community members of that group. You know, they can pick, I feel they can pick who they want to have meet with you guys, but I don't think it should be the full group. I think it needs to be a condensed group on both sides. You know, 2 and 2, 3 and 3.
I definitely agree with that, because it's like,
Where it's at
otherwise
now,
you're gonna end up with going through the same, some of the stuff that we're going through now.
where it's at now, we're at a standstill because it's way too much money. Can't raise that kind of money, the city don't have that kind of money, so we need to get into them plans, pick it down. Maybe Bollock has to be in there to help sort through the stuff. And maybe it's not feasible to have a brand new one. Maybe we need to look at something else, but at least we get going on it. Because it seems like we're moving, but not very far fast. So,
If you'd like, Mayor, I can coordinate that. I can get a hold of Bollig, maybe they'd be on a conference call, see if they'll do that. Not a problem with this, and then I can contact some people in the city, you know, maybe 3 and then 2 off the council. I can coordinate that with everybody.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay? I don't think we need a vote on that. It's just a discussion is all it is. Okay, you want me to do that then?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll take care of that then. All right, A, appointment of council member to the EDA board. The EDA board is somebody who meets once a month at 6:45 a.m. on the first Wednesday of the month. So we normally have 2 council members on there. We have to have 2 council members on there due to our rules within the city, and Dave is still on there. And so we are looking for either, Mayor, for you to appoint somebody or for someone to volunteer.
there we go.
That was easy.
Yeah, thank you.
I only had to kick him once.
Must be something about that chair, Tom. Must be something about that chair.
That's what the job started. And it's once a month. It lasts anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half to get everybody out of here for work. And then there's usually a couple months that there isn't enough to talk about, so we just communicate a little bit by email. And it's actually a very important part of the city, especially right now with the number of things that we've got going on within the city. So, I mean, is that all right, Mayor? If you want to appoint him for that?
Yes, I
We
would
need
like
a
to
vote for
appoint
that?
Brian to that.
Okay. So we need a motion for that, and
Somebody need a
Yeah,
motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second that.
Okay, all those in favor, roll call.
do roll call
Yeah,
at
what?
once, or one at a
Mhm.
time.
Yep, no, I can do it all.
All in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Awesome.
You know what? Did we ever, like, appoint you pro temp?
Yes.
Yep.
Did we get that?
Last
done?
year.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
way to
not the
bring-
only one losing it.
Way to bring that up again.
Oh, I just couldn't remember if we ever did that.
Staff reports, we're going to go with Chief first because he's got something that he's got to get to tonight right away. So if you want to come on up and get us started here.
Evening. So first, I'd just like to say how rare it is that somebody actually can come in here and say, this person jump-started me and got my heart going again with a defibrillator. I've been doing this 31 years, and I think the longest anybody's ever made it after hitting them with a defibrillator or doing CPR on is maybe a few days on life support, long enough for the family to say goodbye to them in the hospital. For Mr. Vu to be here in front of you today is pretty spectacular. So,
Just to go along with that a little bit, we were able, it was through the United Way, I believe, we had gotten one of those for the swimming pool also. So they do April does the training here on this Thursday night at, I think, 5:30 is when that training is for all the lifeguard, or all the employees at the swimming pool. So CPR, and I think they go through that also.
Very important.
Wonderful tool.
so just a couple things to go over with my report was the 53 public nuisance ordinance warnings. There were actually about 82 actual nuisances that were identified. I'm sure I missed some that will have to be addressed more this coming month, but 53 properties contained 80 some nuisance ordinances. So our truth about drugs graduation went fairly well. We're kind of rushed with the end of the school year and all the activities that they have going on. And the program end that day kind of got rushed because of things going on at the school, but we did get all the kids' t-shirts and graduation certificates and got to take our group picture as we usually do. Handed out books to the first and fourth graders at both schools. This is a program that's put on by the business owners in town. They pay for all the books. They pay for the publishing, and each first grader and each fourth grader goes home with this book that's geared on making good choices in their reading level. So I always try to do that towards the end of the year so that they have that for over the summer. It's got different stories and games and stuff in it for them to do. You saw the new squad tonight out here, still working the bugs out of it, trying to make sure everything's working the way it should and program the way it should. We're learning with it, and I'm getting a lot of compliments around from people in town about the looks of it, so that's been positive. Positive note, Officer Dustin Damuth has agreed to come and help fill in some of the open shifts that are going to be coming up with the paternity leave coming to the department. So that's a bonus to us. We did budget this year for a part-time officer, and we won't come anywhere close to using that budget, I'm sure, but it's budgeted to do that, and he's going to help cover some of the night shifts. Also, I took care of hand delivering a bunch of building maintenance code violations, Shane, for the Public Works Department. So the letters that weren't picked up with the registered mail, that didn't get picked up with the post office, I went hand delivered and did a public service, or in-person service of those letters. So, any questions on all that?
Justin, how many code violations?
You'd have to ask Shane about how many code violations they actually did, but I think I hand delivered about 8-10 of them.
I had it in my report, it was like 56 of them.
I thought it was 54, but yeah. But the ones that had to be delivered are the ones that we couldn't get anybody to give them to, or they're not taking mail at that residence, so.
Since it would be related somewhat to public safety, on a positive note, as I was leaving to come to the meeting tonight, I saw a young girl on an electric scooter, and she pulled up to the stop sign, maybe was still moving a tiny bit, but looked both ways, was very cautious entering the intersection, and I'm so grateful that maybe the message is starting to get out to the young folk in town that we want to keep them safe. So just wanted to say something more positive since I've been sounding like a negative Nelly for a while.
Yes, you have.
Jason, regarding the sale of the old squad, the 2019, and you stated in your report it's going to be sold on public auction.
Yes, it actually.
Is it a state thing, or what is that?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. It is a state auction site. It did sell today.
Oh.
We got $6,000 for it, so that was all right. They've been averaging for that year in mileage in between $3,500 and about $7,000. So we get $6,000 for us, minus the sale fee. So that sold actually today.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and so that has been a good source then of selling it through that mechanism then.
Yeah, it's one less step for us to have to do as the city, because they decommission it at the same place that the new squad is built, and it just goes down the road to the public auction place, and that place actually takes all the lettering off of it, detail cleans it, and then they put it out for auction. Okay. So they take care of all that. Where in the past, well, I've spent full days out there trying to power wash all the decals off of a squad to get it ready to post on public auction. They took care of that for us. So, and then some of the equipment actually is going to, from the last squad, I have to still go pick up there because that car wasn't decommissioned when we picked this one up. And that's going to all go to the fire department for their use.
So we actually had that one, it's a 2019 model year. Did we actually have it in service for a full 5 years or 4 years, or how long did we have it then?
Yes. We got it early in 2019, so it would have been all of 19 up until just 2 weeks ago.
So we got good use out of it then.
Yes.
Yeah, good service.
Chief kind of made that decision today, or the last few days, of if we didn't get at least $6,000 for it, we were probably going to bring it back here and bring it out and use it at the airport, or...
If it went low, yeah. But we did get 6,000 for it today.
That
so.
sounds decent. Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Tammy, you want to go?
Damn sure.
Sure, you always pick her right away.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Tyler's sitting there.
That's where I was going to.
Do you want to go first? Actually, mine is short and sweet. Kind of thought I sent the wrong year to begin with, but we're good. Turn. Basically, nothing. I mean, burgers, bands, and brews. We've keep hammering that out. It's for a great cause. It's this weekend. We're hoping, praying that the weather is good.
You'll be good.
I'm going to go with Dave's weather because mine doesn't
It's
look
gospel.
like that.
Yep.
I'm going to go with whatever one looks better for us. Anyways, we had a great weekend this weekend. Like about 17,000 for the last 3.5 days. The April sales were a little smidgen under. Expenses were also down. However, purchases were up because of the time of the year we are with the buys. We got to make sure we're stocked for the Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July and all of that kind of stuff. Aloha Night is coming up July 14th. Make sure to keep that on the calendar. We'll be hitting that hard pretty soon too.
You say the 14th?
14th of July, yep. Last April, or last month, the end of the month, we were at the MMBA convention. Not to mention the different speakers and the different seminars and stuff they have too, but that's one place that every year we get reinstated for the liquor license. Not the liquor license, but like we have to go through like going through a liquor program or a liquor training, so that for our insurance for one. And that is added a new employee that we're very happy to have on staff. So other than that, that's probably about it.
She has her presentation tonight.
Yeah.
So
No, we are very happy with her joining our team.
Aloha Night's going to be on a Sunday?
No, that's a mistake. It's the 1st.
It's what?
You say June 3rd for, oh, no.
No,
I'm sorry,
July
not,
14th.
but
July
in here
14th
for
is
the
a Sunday.
Brews
12th.
business was,
Did I put that on there?
I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
in
make sure you're
this,
there in case
Oh,
Trey bails on
Friday
me.
night then.
Yeah,
but
Friday
the
night.
Burgers and Brew is on the 1st, right?
Yeah, on Sunday.
And it's the 12th for Aloha?
Of July.
July. Yeah,
I'm
Yep.
ready to swim.
yeah.
I remember that from last year.
So, and as far as that goes, Burgers, Bands, and Brews is like a community event. We encourage everybody to bring the families, and on the 14th for Aloha Night, it's an adult evening. So, you have to be 18 in order to join us for that one.
But not Burgers, Bands, and Brews, though.
Yeah, no, that's a family
Okay, so,
family event.
Tim, is there a child pricing if someone brings 3 kids to Burgers and Bands?
You know what, we haven't before. I mean, and you know, like we were talking about a little bit today, I mean, most kids eat the chips and the cookie and they'll probably have the pop, you know, we have the drink this time included. So even if they take a few bites off that burger, we feel that it's,
So they can just come. That was-
no, there's a fee for, yeah, a fee for kids too.
Okay, is it the same $15? Okay.
I believe so, yes. Yeah,
No matter the age.
All
it's
right, that's what
price
I was,
per ticket.
that's what I was asking.
yeah.
I got a message from a person trying to watch the meeting and there's no sound.
Charter's not working, are they?
It's not charter.
It's not charter?
We got problems everywhere.
Yeah, Tam isn't talking.
They'll have to read about it in the paper.
Ooh,
Anything else? Pam?
You know, anything, anybody have any questions?
See you tomorrow morning.
Next week.
Okay, we good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the problem?
Tyler, you want to come up? There's no sound?
No sound
Nope.
on any end?
You can keep
Red
going.
lights?
We have red lights.
Okay,
Keep going.
yeah.
all right. Before I forget, the night vision goggles, you'll probably see that next month too, because the U.S. Department of Navy sent us a new W-9 and the voided check saying, hey, this needs to be written out to the Department of Treasury now. So you'll see that next month too.
Okay.
So we voided that one and issued a new one. Audit's been going great. Auditor was here for what should be the last day today, and we got everything wrapped up that she needed, and unless she has something dire all of a sudden, that should have been the last time that she's here, and everything's looking good, and she's planning on coming back the second meeting of June to present it to the City Council.
The 24th of June. She'll be here to present.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're filing on time this year.
Yes.
Great.
Everything should be, and she only had, 3 or 4 things that she sat down with us. I was expecting an hour and a half this morning or this afternoon, and besides some small talk, we could have been out of there in 30 minutes. So there was a couple of things that were very easily explained, and so she gave us a little bit of advice on a couple of things, and that was it.
Good job. Good job.
And solar farm proceeds, we got a lot more this year. Not sure why, but good news. And utilities were up a lot in April, 31,000, higher than last year. Boxcar Liquors, they had great sales, but expenses have been really high, and it should be turning around in the coming months, just like Tam was saying. And then in the DMV, we had the highest April on record. Those higher increased fees that the state let us told us to have really helped out. And so far this year, we've earned $8,000 more in the office than last year. So, any questions?
Refresh my memory. What's the name of the company that operates the solar farm by the
This-
airport?
EHE Renewables?
Yeah, it's changed a couple different times from when you sold the land or sold the rights to it. It was something else like a Syntrex or something like that. But now it's BH Renewables or B&H
BHE.
BHE
Yep,
Renewables.
BHE Renewables.
And the number went from what 13,000 to 21,000.
22, yeah.
So we've actually, just to go along with that, what he's talking about, Tom's actually working right now with another solar farm. That just to see if there's any other activities we might be doing within the city. We had somebody come in here 2 weeks ago. You had him come in here. You called the meeting, and then there's somebody that is willing to at least look at the city of Tracy to possibly not using the land for something else. We might as well be making some money off it.
So doesn't the city get reduced electricity or something when they do that, or is that not?
Yeah, that's something that we'd have to, I'd wait for Shane to come up here and talk about because he's very familiar with it. He was here when it started, so he's got a little bit more, you're right, Shane.
It's working now.
Oh, it's working now? Okay. So, but yes, there's a certain amount we can get every year type of thing, and so that's what we're working, and he kind of knows what Tom's planning on with these people, but just another great way to bring in some extra revenue.
Also, I wanted to mention the man who is in here. He's my next door neighbor, and he's a great guy. And that night, woke up with the flashing lights, and it's like, oh no, it's Hiller, because he's had heart problems for years now, and it was just amazing to hear what Officer Erickson did. And off of the CPR thing, I believe his his son-in-law was there giving him CPR before Officer Erickson got there. So that probably played a big part on him surviving as well. But yeah, it's just amazing to see him up and about just like he always was. Really cool. Great neighbors.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tom, you want to come up next?
Before I do my report, I was just going to mention too that, the last month has been really, really tough on our local first responders, our police, our fire department, our EMTs. There's been some tragedy in our community, and these men and women are the first there, professional throughout the course of what they need to do, but they're also human. And I know in talking with a few of them, it's been a tough month. And so if you see them, you know who they are. I think just certainly reach out and thank them for their service. Say a prayer for them. I know that they have programs in place, that they have avenues to talk and to kind of work through these processes. But we're so lucky to have them, and I certainly don't want to forget about their needs as well. So just something to think about. So EDA coordinator and community development report you've got. I've kind of changed the way that I'm putting it together a little bit. We had in our 2022 city comp plan a number of goals that the council at that time accepted, and so what I'm trying to do is just kind of keep in touch with those goals and list out some of the things that were underneath there. Two sections were community growth goals, and another section, or the other section, was housing. Those are two of them that I'm just reporting on. It's going to be a busy month ahead with the two spec houses, hoping to see some dirt moved here as soon as we possibly can. We've done just about everything that we can. UCAP did get back in touch with us, and as I mentioned in my report, and I want to just make sure it's on the program tonight, that those have been priced at $262,000 each.
That's the sale price.
That is the sale price.
But what I like is the amount of money that is going to be adding to our tax base.
Correct. The real value is probably someplace closer to $350,000 as far as the true cost of everything that went into that house, assuming even $10,000 for the price of the lot and a building permit and all of the hookups. And so it's a great opportunity for someone who meets those criteria. It's not a low-income housing. It is what I would consider moderate income housing. The guidelines are proportionate. There is no limit on assets that is looked at, and they would need to qualify either for a loan sufficient to purchase that $262,000 home. There is no discounts, so if you look on Marshall's listings, there are two of them that are in UCAP there, and within the listing it says purchase price needs to be at that amount. And in keeping with what the true value is, it's reasonable to expect that full price, certainly.
When do you expect them to start?
I'm hoping to see some dirt moved in June would be my expectation. They have, from the time that the two contractors signed those, 160 days, I believe, is what their criteria for, unless there's some kind of a situation with shortage of materials or weather or something of that sort. That's the expectation, and both contractors said that they could meet those conditions. So that would put us into October, I believe, November, someplace in there.
Nice.
They're for sale now. I have plans and specs, so if someone wants to step up, first come, first serve. These are, the application process is to UCAP. City of Tracy is not involved with as far as accepting or taking care of any of that. So there's, once again, it truly is first come, first serve, and it will be out of our hands to who's accepted and what applications meet that.
Tom, and am I correct in saying that the advantage to someone getting involved now and applying to buy one of those houses is that they'd be able to choose their own cabinets or make some choices on their own?
Yeah, the earlier the better. Colors as far as flooring, they have already spec'd out the type of flooring, so there's not going to be the availability to increase a lot of those components. To say I want something of a higher quality, I don't like those windows or whatever it has to be. But I assure you, the specs on these are pretty high quality. It was more than what I had expected for what was going to be built. These are really, really going to be nice.
It's been a long process coming.
Yeah.
So, like you said, Jan, it's not a discount off of that 261, but yes, you're getting $80,000 to $90,000 off of the price, just by being within the guidelines.
Purchase price, but the actual tax base value for us as a city is higher than that.
It will, and that's up to the county to do that assessment. They'll do their own valuation. It won't necessarily be the true cost, but it probably won't be the exact purchase price either, understanding that. But, and that won't take effect until the tax year 2026. So for 2025, the taxpayer would pay the lot tax because those assessments have already been set for 2025.
Is it the intention of the EDA to offer those tax abatements to, no?
No.
I don't know, sorry.
No, we've done plenty in getting the lot, the building permit, some of the hookups, those kind of things. It's a great deal.
Okay.
Very good.
Any other questions?
Talk a little bit about the other home possibilities.
So we are, at this point in time, all systems go on the third home. The location of that is, at this point in time, unless something changes, is the 2nd Street property next door to Brian's home. That will be a full basement house as opposed to a slab on grade because there was an excavated full basement a number of years ago, and so in order just to accommodate, to make sure that there's a decent base there. That was the intent behind the $100,000 that the county gave for this program. Some of the discount of that particular house will be found in the form of donated labor by Tracy High School's building trades class, who will actually do the framing, some of the interior, depending upon timing and how much Carl Campbell, who will be leading that class, feels it can be accomplished. But that will be a good combination, something that we wanted to do last year. That also will be for sale, and the ideal would be someone that comes along a little bit sooner in the process, because that plan and spec can certainly be changed a little bit. Besides just colors, certainly some upgrades could be made. We did see a initial blueprint of a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, full basement design. And so I've sent Jeff a copy of that, Shane a copy, and Carl a copy to look through to see what might be changed. It's kind of a reduced one of the 2 specs out there that Tracy Lumber put together, and so we should have some decent numbers. It'll be less because it's not as big, but we thought going with something that they've already had a chance to bid out and might give us a little better perspective of what we're looking at. When we get those numbers back, initial numbers, we'll be back to the council at that point in time. Those will have to go through a bidding process. Shane has agreed to be the general of record on that project, and so more to come to the council.
Will that have an attached garage?
Yes, nice sized. At this point in time, I believe he has it spec'd out for like 26 by 28 or something. It's a pretty good sized garage.
We try to make them 2 doors when we can. They look bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you go to that other lot because the county wanted it to have a basement?
No, we kind of went to the other lot. If you drive out there, the 2 lots that we're using are the area that has been built up. So that's all nice grassy area. The 3rd lot, most of that 3rd lot goes down about as far as, I think, Diane's desk and down over the course of the lot, and it's pretty low. Our concern was, without doing any kind of base build-up and then building on it the very same year without any opportunity for weather to do some compacting, just was kind of putting us in a spot. The other concern I had was that will, I think, be our best potential of a development in the near future as we work through some of those obstacles and find the funding for it. And the last thing I wanted was to put something on that lot that in the future we would look back and go, man, I wish we hadn't done that then. You know, one of the issues out there on Front Street is to get our drainage figured out, and until we know where those lines might go and how the county and how the city are going to work out that drainage issue, I kind of want to leave as much of the rest of that alone, and once we have that figured out, then we can go through a platting process and figure out how roads and lots will lay out, as opposed to doing one at a time all the way down the line. We could do that, but I know we would probably kick ourselves at some point and say, I wish we'd have done this earlier, and we could have done it a better way. So it seemed to work out better that way.
Tom, on the city school spec house, you said it was a 2-bedroom,
Correct.
but with a basement.
Correct.
So would there possibly be included a egress window type thing where they could expand the, another bedroom type?
Yes, exactly.
Probably 2 egress windows.
Potentially
Good.
2 down there.
Included in the build.
It's about 1,390 square feet on the first floor, so that's a pretty good sized
Yes,
lower
it
level
is.
then too.
Okay, thank you. That makes,
Yeah, 2-bedroom
That
and
makes
2
it much
bath
more
with
versatile then.
main floor laundry. Nice plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Said Shane was going to be up here now.
Probably.
Well, hopefully everyone had a chance to read my report, but we are constantly mowing. It seems like there's no end to it. I guess I got street sweepings done. If you've noticed, last week we got the banners up downtown. So
Look good.
sure.
Awesome.
That's nothing but good compliments on those so far. So, other than that, the pool's up and running. They're doing some final cleaning there. So that should be good to go this week. Our whole chemicals, all the chemistry has changed there now because of the lack of water loss we've had this year. So it's been a new curve for
You
us.
gotta readjust all of that now.
Yeah. So,
He was going to give it to you as bad news as we ordered enough chemicals, the same as we did last year, but we might have 2 years worth sitting out there.
I'll live with that.
So yeah, I don't know if you had any other questions for me. Say most of our time has been into just trying to keep up with lawn care, bathrooms.
Well, Shane, just first a comment. I don't know what the opinion of everyone else is, but I know it's been a struggle for you keeping up with the lawn mowing that's wet as it's been and how fast it's been growing. But personally, I don't have any objection to if it has to get a little longer, it just gets a little longer. I don't find that objectionable, and I don't think most people in the public would either. But a couple of questions on the drainage swale that goes from South 4th kind of across the old Central Livestock property. I noticed there's quite a number of trees and shrubs growing up in that. Is that something we're going to have to clean out at some point in time?
The problem is that does not run downhill, it runs uphill. So the water never leaves it, and that's why we have vegetation growing in there.
Yeah.
Really, ideally, it should be just grass in there, not cattails, not trees, not everything else that's growing in there. But you can't get at them other than wintertime. I pushed a few over last winter, some bigger ones before they got too big. But to dig that out, you know, we'd have to go all the way back to the drainage ditch for the counties and then grade it, which I think it'll flow that way, but it's just the cost of getting over that. And that's kind of, you know, Jeff and I and Tom and Denny Foltz have met there.
We've discussed it.
And discussed it actually this spring. We were talking about it. We actually tried to get the county on board with it back in 2018. We haven't heard anything after that as far as they're trying to make like a soil and water, like erosion conservation type project out of it, because they're looking for a place to put their tile too. But say there's really no benefit to us right now other than reducing the water to with the backups we have with that tile running down Front Street. But
Some kind of a complex problem.
not really. I mean, it goes from point A to point B. It's just a matter of excavating it out and reseeding it and making it flow right. But I know that project didn't go well back in 2007 when they did it. But
So we've discussed it. So we have a tentative plan of what's going
Okay.
to happen, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
because if that develops out there, we don't want water sitting there for one, and two, and the mosquitoes. That gives them a place to live too. So.
So the elevation is actually higher near the county ditch than where the
Lower.
lower.
But the problem is that that swale stopped about halfway through the lot and never continued to the drainage ditch. So
Oh,
that just goes out into like a little grass area, and that's where it ends. So that grass area is too high for it to drain correctly. So that water's been sitting in that pipe since it was built. It's been sitting in there about a third to half full. So the only way that gets is when water builds up, you know, it can get high enough to get out, and the rest of it just hopefully evaporates eventually. So I'd say it's not an ideal system at all.
How many years has that been there, that swale? 15?
2017, so we're talking
07, right?
07 or 20, yeah. Did I say 17?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You can record your answer 17 years.
Not, yeah, that might work.
Okay. And then the scoreboard that was blown over with the rotten posts out
Yep.
of the softball fields. I'm just curious, how long have those posts been in there?
Not very long, but the used poles that got put in were probably the reason they were used. So we're looking, Jeff and I talked to Tower last week, talking about how we want to cure that issue, I guess. I talked to DeSchmitz, and he was going to look at it last Friday.
That was covered under the school's insurance.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, yeah, we have everything else out there. The new concession stand and the upper decks, all that is all covered under the city, but the scoreboards were covered under the school. So
So maybe some metal posts?
It lasts a lot longer, but
Yeah.
it's just what to, right now is to get it done right, so it doesn't blow over again. I did also, we interviewed 3 part-time staff today, so we're going to be reviewing those and come up with a conclusion on, to look at the budget. Usually we have 3 budgeted, but just to make sure that's going to work, so we'll hire 1 or 2 of those 3, so.
That's for helping with lawn or?
Yeah, for summer, part-time seasonal, so, or full-time seasonal. Part-time, full-time. Till August anyway. Usually they go back. These are all, I think, right around the age 16, so it's, they're gonna be going back to school probably late August. So.
What can we do to help get rid of the problem of people bringing stuff to our city disposal site and leave it in bags? Just keep asking them not to do it, or
We've fought that problem for probably 30 years now.
and we come with what answer?
There isn't
Just
one.
keep fighting?
Yep. Catch somebody at
It's
it.
the few, the 2 or 3 that do it that are gonna wreck it for everybody else, because, you know, that's something that if PCA or DNR sees that in there, they're gonna send us a letter, so. And if we get enough letters, then they're gonna have to find somewhere else to go with their, they as in the whole city, are gonna find somewhere else to go with all their leaves and sticks, and
So do
it's
we need
pretty
to
clearly
put
labeled.
your ad in the Tracy paper then to help?
I would almost guarantee you the people that are dumping it out there aren't reading the paper, they're not watching the show tonight.
Where do we begin, where do we stop putting up cameras all over town? I mean, we've already moving it around, and it'd be nice.
Well,
I know.
and we even, like, way back, hired somebody to
Yeah,
sit
I
up
was
there
just
and-
gonna point that out. But they can't be out there, for all the times that it's actually accessible, so you're still gonna miss.
Or times get cut down to a couple hours on the weekend and it's locked up the rest of the time. That's what we did a few years ago too.
Mhm.
And then it ends up in the township's ditch.
Yep.
So that's not good either. So if you are listening, quit doing that, please.
Would it,
Yeah.
are we locking the gates at night,
No.
Shane? Would that help any?
Not really.
The other night I was at the museum, and we had a late meeting. It was 9:30, and it was amazing how many lights I saw going out there at night. And I just kind of thought, is that when people go out and they've got something to hide? I don't know.
I guess I've been out lately.
They've showed up in the middle of the day too. I mean, it doesn't really matter what time of the day it is.
Yeah, they'll just wait till nobody's around, I suppose, and throw it out. Well, it's so sad, all they have to do is just dump it out.
Okay.
And it's not just us. It's the guy collecting appliances has the same issue with people dumping stuff there, and I'm sure Kendall's has issues with this concrete pile too. I mean, just people got to respect others.
Thank you, Shane.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, I got a couple things for you tonight. Working with all the department heads on initial budgeting process. We have just a reminder to the council, we have a meeting a week from tomorrow night, Wednesday night, the 5th. And that will be for the initial, just kind of the kickoff for the budgeting. I want you to see that night will be a preliminary of hopefully everyone from all the department heads will have their initial drafts in for their budget, and then also we'll go through some goals and kind of where we were last year, where we're at this year, and kind of what we're going to need to make some decisions on over the next couple of years. Plus, we're looking at potentially next week, by next Wednesday, is instead of having the CIP out to 2028, I'd like to see it out to 2030, maybe 31, so we can just start adding some things in there. I just want to give you a sense of or Tyler and I want to give you a sense of where we stand as a city with money on cash on hand, where we're going this coming year with all of the the bills that we do have. But I also want I want to paint a picture that it's a good situation that we're in yet too, though. You know what? I don't know that we set a time for that next Wednesday. Do you remember if we set a time?
If it's on the budget or on the resolution yet?
I don't think. I will send that out. I'll send that out this week yet.
What is that?
At one
We'll
point,
have it at the library, yeah.
at one point, maybe even when it was scheduled for June 3rd, I saw 6 o'clock.
That's the plan.
Personally, I would rather have it a little later. 6:30 would be helpful to me.
Planning and zoning is what you've probably seen on Monday the 3rd, but should we have it at 6:30? I think we can get in and out of there an hour, for sure, hour and a half. 6:30 on that Wednesday. We have it in the schedule already. So I'll send that out as a meeting reminder for everybody.
Okay.
So the 5th at 6:30.
Yes,
I will be gone.
that's fine.
What?
Other night work for you, George?
No,
You're going for a week.
I'm going for a
Oh,
week.
okay,
for
okay.
graduation.
And I'll go over it with
Oh,
him.
Takes me a long
ahead of
time to
yeah.
graduate.
I'll go over it with
Okay,
him. So,
okay.
so we'll have that, and also Jerry, just to let you know that I kind of looked at the whole budgeting schedule and that, yeah, Tyler and I plan on having a realistic budget out to you by August 1st, so you can look at it for a week, week and a half before we get together on, I think it's the 12th of August. So we really want to have that to you by the 1st of August, so you can really just take a look at it, and so we're working on that right now. Okay? The MnDOT, the Safe Routes to School plan is something we might need to budget for this coming year. Just to go over that plan with you real quick, they're putting a lot of effort into how we can make across the railroad tracks, crosswalks. The big thing that they're looking at right now would be a sidewalk that goes all the way from the grade school to the high school on the north side of the road, which would be very, very expensive. We got some preliminary numbers, and I haven't talked to the school yet at all, so it might be too early to talk about this, but if all the things that they want put in there, and Seth, you're on this group, I got a number of $500,000 where the school and the city or the city would have to come up with about $40,000 out of $500,000. So it's fantastic. That would also be the potential of a sidewalk up Front Street in front of those new houses also. All the way from one end to the other, from Center Street all the way to 4th Street. So we got meetings this week again with that, with the DOT, so it's moving along. We don't have to do anything. We've got a 4-year span to do that, so we need to take a look at when we can afford that initial match. It's engineering costs is what it is. We have to come up with that ourselves, but we are looking for that money
Who
also.
will be responsible to keep it clear?
It would be it'd be sidewalks, so it'd be who's ever in front of it, and we don't know where they're at. The school, I'm sure, would have to be a part of that since they'd be right there. It could go as high as 500,000, but it could go as low as 200,000, depending on what we put in there. All right, working with New History, all of you have heard me talking about this building here and the upgrades that it needs. Right now, we have for 2025, going along with the budget, we have $700,000 budgeted. The reason it was budgeted under CIP for 2025 was we were hoping to get money that would be coming in. That would be the money going out, but how much do we have coming in from this building beyond being on the historical register? We're no further. I'm hoping by next Wednesday they'll have a 100% plan to me. Right now they're at a 75% plan, but it's something that is going to take a lot of work over the next few years, depending on what we do with this building or not. There would be another place that we're going to have to make some decisions. Okay. The school opening process, Jessica's got all of them out there. She had a good group out there today getting everything cleaned up. I already heard comments. They appreciated it. It was 85 degrees, the water was. And so that is nice that the pool will be ready on Friday. Liquor store tear down. I believe 100% that it'll be 99% that it'll be done by July 1st for the 4th of July holiday.
The notice to proceed is August 4th.
We're really hoping that it gets done right away. But it's all planned, it's all budgeted, it's all
For sure Labor Day.
ready to go, yeah. That was always our goal, was it Labor Day, so we could use that space, but I'd really like it done earlier than that, if possible.
What did we do with the iron fence and gates for that area?
Somebody took them away.
We just gave them away?
Yes. Yep. I didn't receive any money for those. Yep. Somebody took them.
Wasn't the Wheels interested in them?
I don't know that we ever went to them. I mean, we got rid of everything else inside. There's a couple things inside that nobody wanted to come back for, so that's...
So the asbestos stuff is all...
That is all gone.
Good.
Yep. That 4 layers of asbestos tile and everything is all gone out of there, and it's ready to be torn down now. So yeah, that's my goal is to have it done by then, but he has until August to do it. that got pushed off a little bit because he's waiting for one of his dump sites to open up. Okay. Last thing that I got for you that you have it in your packets that I just want to talk about briefly. So this is gonna create a little bit of waves when this is implemented. So right now, especially after hearing from Shane over the last couple of weeks, we've been doing a lot of filming of sewer lines from the street to the houses, and we have a great number of, when you redo a street, you don't do anything all the way just up to the curb itself or to the boulevard past the sidewalk. And we've got sewer pipes that are 80, 90, 100 years old that are clay, cast iron, that are collapsed. When we film them, there's leakage coming out of the bottom. There is tree branches growing up into them. And we have some citizens that have had some issues that have to have it drilled out. In fact, Chief Lichty told me today that they have to have on their house they have to have a plumber out every 2 years to get it through. So you go ahead and kind of talk about what you've seen out there, and then I'll talk about what I'd like to do to eventually fix the problem.
So I was going through majority of the televising videos, what I had time to do anyway. That was one of the things that Polly wanted to have, was all the televising from all our projects we've done. And all of the older areas, all the pipes good to the boulevard, but when you get into the yard, that was outside of the right-of-way. It looks like a forest inside their old clay pipes. So in some cases, they can't even get a push camera through it hardly because it's just full of root balls. That's part of our I&I issue. We have some inflow issues too that I've identified most of those. But once the inflow goes away, then the infiltration takes over because the water seeps in the ground. So after, say, a 2-inch rain, it usually takes about a week and a half for all that rain to get through our system. All of our flows spike for that long. So this is it's a widespread area issue. It's not one spot in town. It's a combination of everyone's. And then people that don't follow the sump pump rules with the summer months, we've been finding a bunch of those lately too. So I guess there's different ways to approach it. Depending on how we want to word this, how aggressive the council wants to get with this. In some cities, they'll require all services be replaced during a street project. So if you don't have a PVC sewer already, they're doing a project, you're going to be required within so much time to replace that sewer from your house out to where they're connecting. It's usually the right-of-way behind the sidewalk.
Have we done that?
What's that?
To our residents, required them to replace?
No, that's why we're bringing this up. Another thing, I think this is how Tyler does it. City of Tyler, they require anyone that's selling a house, they have to have their sewer scoped prior to the sale, or have conditions if it's winter time. I know there's some different things they can do there as far as getting it completed, but so anytime there's a sale and the sewer is not in compliance, then that's the requirement on the sale. So that's another method. This is something, I know Pipestone just talked to PCA last week. We had our 3-year inspection for the wastewater system, and they're saying, I think Westbrook, there's another town, let's say to the northeast of here. Pipestone's very aggressive with it. Tyler's had it. It's kind of a thing that the PCA is recommending with people with high I&I issues, which we have. Still, it's getting better over the years. We're not bypassing on a 1-inch rain, but we're still getting real close on a 3-inch rain. So say the project's helping, but there's still a lot of issues all over the place. So that can be from, we've been decommissioning services that houses been tore down on, but we can disconnect those during projects, but it doesn't help. When a house gets tore down, 30 years ago, they never capped the sewer. Well, that just turns into a big basin for water to drain in, and any footing drains that were tied into that, we don't know. So there's that stuff all over the place. And it's just sealing up the system, getting the system tighter is gonna save us in the long run on treatment and design, increased costs of design to handle those flows too.
So where do we start? That's what we're trying to approach here. Is we've seen over the past number of years things getting the can kicked down the road and nothing getting done, and then we still have the problem. So where do we start? And that's what I'm looking at doing, is starting the process of where we're going to get these sewer lines checked. But for me, what better place is when if we sell 25 houses here in town a year, there's probably 20% of the out of the 900 houses here in town that have PVC pipe going from the curb to the house. They're not going to have any problem. If it's a newer house, obviously there's not going to be. There's an example, Tyler, is the house that they bought here a few years ago when they moved here, had the sewer pipe replaced from the house to the road. So he's, even when he sells that house and gets it scoped, it's going to show a PVC pipe going through there. So this will ruffle some feathers, because it's not a cheap process. Depending on how far from the road you are, if you're not very far, it could be as much as $4,000 or $5,000. If you're a long ways from the road, it could be $10,000. But if we get with the realtors and and put an ordinance in place that it has to be done, then the owner of the house can either negotiate that with the price of the house, or they can negotiate that with the buyer of the house, or they can take care of it ahead of time. But at least it gives them the heads up before the sale comes in, and then all of a sudden you have a $10,000 bill.
Can those folks do like the city did, line them, or whatever we did there last fall?
It could be, but I don't know. The cost of that might be, I guess, depending what their landscaping looks like. I think the cost of that is going to far outweigh what it costs just to dig in a new sewer in most cases. But if you have a complicated yard,
it goes under your driveway or something,
right, then that might be something, and that'd be acceptable because that's a PVC, basically a PVC material, and it's just as strong as PVC, and then have it scoped after that's done.
And this is where I would be able to monitor that and get the word out there. And I don't know when something like this would start, but I'll be talking to you over the next, we might even, push this to August or so, when a lot of the selling season is done for this year anyway, and then start it. I don't know if we start something like this January 1st or September 1st, but we have to, we have a problem. So we can either sit here and not do anything about the problem, or we can start addressing the problem. And I don't know about being, when they're replacing a street, we're already assessing people when we replace the street in front of them. They're getting a $7,500 assessment. Is that the time to hit them with another $8,000 that they got to replace the sewer pipe? That gets a little bit steep.
Well, if we can help them put it on their taxes or something, to help
Spread it out.
spread it out a little bit for them, that may be the time.
I haven't seen that, George. I have not seen that as an option anywhere else. But it's something, if we're going to do something like that, we want to make sure that everybody knows it. So when you come here to sell a house here in town, that has to be one of the first thing you do when you make a listing. Is you got to get it scoped, which is about a $300 charge. We don't have equipment to do that within the city, so you'd have to hire that done through a plumber, and then they will decide. They'll show us before that house can get sold. It'll have to be showed to us to see what kind of condition.
Well, I just see that start as soon as possible, at least on the warning side for the seller, is to kick it down the road to August.
We can always change and get more aggressive, but this seems like the easiest place to start the process. And again, there's a lot of places that won't need it, but then there's a lot of places that will.
Shane, when
you
we had the
were-
last,
Go ahead.
excuse me, the last couple projects, didn't we require the homeowners to allow someone to come in and from the inside of the house and send a camera through their sewer line?
Yep. And that's the videos I've been looking through.
Okay. And you're just saying that even though they kind of pass the inspection, so to speak, with all the roots and stuff, it's just not good enough?
No. If you see some of the videos, they're not good enough. 'Cause
Except the conversation between Shane and I, Shane was like, oh, I don't know if you want to poke that bear. And then he started looking at more and more of the videos, and then I get a call about 10 days ago and says, oh no, we got to get something done. So we have a problem.
And in retrospect, we're saying, we maybe should have done this in the last projects.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
And as far as cost, it's not really much difference whether you do it during the project or do it after, because it's a whole different area of the yard. It's not, because the contractors are not going to do it. They don't even like rerouting the ones that we had to separate between houses. So,
Oh, really?
no, they want to stay in the right of way. The contractors do. So, I'm guessing that's an insurance thing. They don't want to start paying for basements and everything else when they pack things down. So, it's just something.
So these service line installations, they'd have to involve excavations, or can it be bored in at all, or?
They don't allow boring on sewers as of right now with the state plumbing code. So it's hard to get grade, and if you hit a rock or something, it's gonna create a belly in that pipe, and then it's not gonna flow right. And that's their reasoning, but not saying they haven't done it. There's some that have got it done in other cities that I've heard, but Tracy's not one of those. But I know right now, it's, as soon as it rains, Jason, Dale, and I are texting each other at 2 a.m. because they're wondering, do we need to pump? So none of us are sleeping until this problem's fixed. So.
And that's, if it's 20, 25 houses at a time, and maybe 10 of those 20 houses don't need it, and 10 of them do, and it'll have to, and that's why we'd have to put it in as an ordinance and make that a rule. And I think it's pretty easily monitored and policed, because we know when something comes up for sale, but it would also be on the same line of somebody selling it for sale by owner.
Do we know for sure from your research that the ordinance is working in Tyler and Pipestone?
I will give you a 100% yes, it is working in Tyler.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
I just learned about the other cities. I think Westbrook was another one, but I just met with the PCA I think it was Thursday they were here, so Wednesday or Thursday. But I haven't had time to reach out to these other communities with the holiday here recently, so I don't know how well it's working there, but I know they're doing it, so I'm sure it's working to some degree.
Well, let's get a plan together and get it implemented as soon as possible so that it gets started.
So with the properties that did have the camera done, these last couple of street properties, it wasn't an inspection to make sure they had the PCP pipe or whatever.
No.
They could have clay or whatever. Nothing was
Correct.
said or done anything. That was not the purpose of it.
No.
So right now, we're not going to do anything with those houses. It's just going to be houses that go on the market that are going to be expected to do this.
That's really going to be your decision. I mean, we can put that, I can see how aggressive we want to be. I just know that you go to let's say in the next couple of years, we get a couple blocks over on First Street and Union over there, and we redo that street and we assess $7,500 to that homeowner. And then if you do it at the same time, then let's say there's another $15,000 is a big hit.
That's why we need to figure out a plan.
Yeah, so that for me, it'd be when houses sell. would be the best time to do something, for me.
That's a slow fix, so
It's, at least it's a fix as you go along.
it is very slow.
Yep, it is.
I don't know how many houses get, Jeff would know more than I would on that, but what do you get, 10 houses at least a year?
20, 25 here in town.
I mean, that's a fair amount of houses.
You could have 15 of those houses fixed in one block or 2 block fix.
Could be, some of them, yeah. But at least this would give the realtor and the owner the heads up that it's something that you can negotiate in the price, negotiate it with the buyer, but then the problem is taken care of. And it's not only just for the city, it's for the buyer too. Where there's, I mean, and Tyler's a prime example where they knew they had a problem and they knew that they got it fixed before the purchase price came in.
Do we have the same issue with businesses?
Well, downtown, the businesses are right on the right-of-way line, so they basically got done already.
Right.
So, you know, they might have a little stub like this coming out of their wall,
But
but
let's say, like, not to pick on any, but like the cements out there.
out there, that's new enough that might be even PVC.
Well, even like the liquor.
'Cause like Midwest
our current
Supply-
liquor store, I mean,
That's PVC.
But I'm just
All the way
saying,
out.
we could have the same problem with some of the businesses in town too, couldn't we?
Mhm.
Yes.
Because the liquor store had the same issue. They had a clay pipe that collapsed. They ended up digging a new sewer, and then when they did the street project, they did the rest of it. Like the city shop, Midwest, a lot of those buildings are already PVC. I don't know about John Deere, what they are, but there's some of the older ones. You get towards like the old state shop, you know, other where we store. That's got an old cast iron pipe. So I mean, it just depends on where you are and what age it is. So
Shane, how many abandoned properties do we have in town? Houses, old vacant commercial buildings, would you say?
couple dozen.
There's close to 38
Is there?
houses and businesses, yeah. If you count everything,
How many?
I would say approaching 40.
And that's the other problem too. You get a leaky roof or anything like that in an old abandoned house that's got a sewer probably in the floor. So everything's going to leak right into the sewer there too. So it's we need to go after that.
That's another part of the budgeting process that we have to look at. That's on our list on what do we do with these? Do we get a hold of them? Are we asking the county for help with, because they're the ones that own it. The county and the state owns abandoned properties or tax forfeiture properties, which hopefully those will be coming on the market here pretty quick. So hopefully we can save some of them, and then the other ones that we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna get them out of here.
Yeah. I like somehow doing something with those abandoned properties and trying to negotiate with the county some kind of cost share.
I might have a little more information for you in the next month or so. I put in an email to the county administrator and to a couple of the county commissioners about the same thing, asking that same question.
Yeah. But I would support a two-pronged approach about going for those abandoned properties and then also requiring the improvements on sale of.
Are there any grants to help with the funding, even though these are on private lands?
Not that I know of for, it would have to be something that the individual would have to be, take out themselves, but I just can't see that there'd be a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I wasn't aware of this at all, but lately, from my past experience with insurance, on a lot of homeowners policies in the last few years, there's been an additional coverage that's been offered, which is to cover utility replacement. And it's an additional premium. Not everybody has it. It's not an automatic thing, but a number of companies that I worked with did have that. What will be interesting is I'll start to do a little research on some of those policies, see what as anything in insurance, it's the language, it's a contract. So what institutes when that insurance carrier would pay for a new utility connection. And so if that's maybe that the municipality declares that sewer pipe no longer functioning, if that triggers the coverage on it, it may be a way for a homeowner to submit a claim. So I'll do some research on that and see what we can
Yep,
cover.
and I have heard of that also. It just depends on when we want to start this. We just have to start something.
So how like for people that sell their houses by themselves, you know?
Yep.
How do you, when you find that listing, then you just approach them and tell them about this and?
Yep, it's something that I would have to keep track of and reach out to that particular, which is not a bad idea anyway from my position, reaching out to the realtors that are involved.
And the
But no, but
county
there
knows
isn't
the
any
rules.
realtor though.
Just to the owner then, because it is it would be an ordinance.
And if it's on order, if they have to change title to it, and if the county knows that's a requirement, you know, there's no one's going to be able to get under the wire.
Yeah, we could probably, it's something going to slip through possibly, but, you know, well after all of you are off the board and well after I'm gone, 10 years from now, do we have, half of the cities done?
You got 12 years with Brian now, so.
Brian doesn't have 12 years with me, though.
You're lucky, Brian.
All right.
The other thing to think about too, I didn't mention is, if you're, so on like an older area town that hasn't had a project in the last 20 years, are we going to make them go all the way to the main, or do we bring them to the boulevard and then a project picks them up later? That's another thing to think about too, on how you want to structure the ordinance.
I think the boulevard is, even though it's listed as your land, it's controlled by the city. Because there's usually those easements, right, in the boulevard.
Yeah, but it just, do you want them cutting the street up, or do you want to wait until a project and then the city would do the street side of it?
That's what gets expensive, is when you got to put it into a piece of the street, you're cutting a hole in the street, no matter how new or old the street is. So that's where it gets expensive.
Yeah, you're looking at probably $3,000 just to patch and put curb and gutter and fill back in on a street.
Excuse me, so let's say you sell your house, and you're in an area that we haven't done any street work for a long time. So then they would be stuck with having to pay for out to the curb?
The curb.
Where everybody else that's been doing the projects have basically been taken care of in the boulevard by the project.
That was my question, is how far do we want to require them to replace that? Are we going to just make them do it up to the boulevard, or do you want to take them all the way to the main?
Or do we make that decision and we are having a piece of that?
Well, why wouldn't we try to be equitable and everybody gets the same treatment?
Well, it's not going to be the same for every house, though. I mean, you're going to have houses that aren't going to need it at all. So is that really fair that
I'm saying if we've had some of that work picked up by a project to the other side of the sidewalk, right? Why would that not apply for others that have to have that done as we go based on sales?
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to really look at that, because a little piece of it is they're getting assessed. If there is a project that goes down that road, they're already getting assessed too. So I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Because if they replace it all the way to the main, they're going to rip it out when they do the street.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go all the way to the main, but
So
either get to the curb or the boulevard, then we're down to 5-6 feet of infiltration instead of 30 feet or 60.
If we want to get to this, that's why we got to we want Shane to hire a couple of part-time people, so that's something that we can, because this is something that's going to be sit down, look at the ordinances through other cities, and then see what we can do and talk to them and see how it's going. I mean, you asked me if there was any experience. Yes. The last 3 houses I've sold in Tyler all had to have it done, and I made sure it got done.
Did it all the way to the boulevard? Or
And that was all the way to the boulevard, yep.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
So I think that would make sense. The homeowner is responsible to get it to the boulevard. And then until the street project comes along, that last 5 feet or 8 feet from the boulevard to the street.
Depends if there's a sidewalk there too. Depends on, these were actually, But no, these were all the way to the street, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
In the street, just
all
the
four of
curb.
them, yeah, just right to the curb, yeah, and then, but you still gotta tear up the road a little bit.
What do you do?
Yeah, still has to be done there.
Most of the sewer in city here, there is some in the boulevard, but most of it, 90% of it's gonna be in the middle of the road. Generally right down the center. So if we're gonna bring it to the main, it's gonna be to the middle of the road. So.
Okay, but again, there's nothing tonight, I just wanted to bring that up. I didn't mean it to take that long, I'm sorry, but it's something that we need to, no, you did fine, thank you. We need to, it's something that we just need to address. And why not, we have to start someplace. Just like with anything else. Mayor, are you ready to move on?
I sure am.
Okay, let's go to a few things that I've got to go over with you. I'll try to make these as quick as possible, but there's going to be a little bit of discussion here. The first one's very easy. Resolution 2024-57, supporting request for state bonding for infrastructure improvements. This is nothing more than the council's support that we can get our name on state list for bonding. Whether that's state legislature bonding or that's actually through deed. Whatever kind of bonding. Some of it's all grants, but this is puts us on the list that we have support from the city. So essentially, that is all. We're going to get into it a little bit more in the next one with the task order, but this one here just gives Bullock the permission to at least go out there and put us on some lists that we need to be on. I learned quite a bit about that over the last couple of weeks. So resolution 2024-57, get a vote on that, please.
I'll make that a motion to do that.
State bonding one.
2024-57.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Heinrichs. Schmidt,
Yes.
Van Dyke,
Aye.
Teigs,
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
Okay, number 2, resolution 2024-58, task order number 2, Bullock Engineering Income Eligibility Survey. So there's a small cities development program which you've all heard of many times because right now Tom has one going on for the houses here in town and commercial. We had 12 commercials. So that is through the Department of Employment and Economic Development's deed. It's a state agency. So I found out in the last few weeks that there is a grant, it's called a utility grant, that if you are income eligible for a city, you can get onto this grant. So what I'm asking for, and I can get into a little bit more of it when I explain it, but what I'm asking for is we need to do an income survey. Why we need to do an income survey is we rank, and just to make it simple, we rank a 51 in the state, and we need to be at 50.4. So we're just off of this income survey or eligibility. We feel that we can get onto this list and we can get this grant. It might not be this year, it might be next year, but what we're looking at doing is getting on this. This is a 2-time grant through its utilities. It's for water and sewer, and that's what it is, water and sewer. And we've got streets, as you know, here in town that, we've even talked about it when we, were talking about selling houses and having to put in sewer lines and that type of thing. Wouldn't it be nice to do a few streets in here town by nothing but a grant, and we don't have to assess a lot of money to the homeowners, especially to some of the homes that we need new streets, that it might be tougher to get those assessments out of. Okay. So what I'm asking for here is I'd like Bullock to come in and do a income eligibility survey. They feel that we can get on there. I read that too. I feel we can get on this list, and I'll give you the time frame that goes with it. But what I'm asking for is I need to do this income survey. It is $30,000, which $5,000 of that can be gotten from the from League of Minnesota Cities, And also where I'd like to get the other 25,000 would be the potential of getting that from the ARPA money that we have sitting at the county for infrastructure that needs to be used up by December 31st. So we're approaching that date. So it's $30,000 for this income eligibility survey, but that gets us on a list. What that does is we would do an application, pre-application in November after the survey is done. Then a regular application would be done in April of 25, and then the grant, if accepted, would give us $600,000, and we can get that 4 years later again from the point of when we get that $600,000. I believe that we can get the $600,000. Now, that's not road, that's not gas lines, that is just your water and sewer. I put the note into the county like I was telling you about, the other note that I sent to them, asking if we can use some of that money just to get ahead of the game a little bit. If we don't, we've never been on this list before. Just because we got the grant for the commercial properties and the grant for the homeowners, that has nothing to do with this particular grant. So what we need to do is get on this list, and to get on this list we have to do this eligibility survey, which is going to cost us $30,000.
So if you can do this 4 years again, do you have to have another
No.
study?
No, you are on the list.
Okay.
Yep, you're on the list.
And what do they do when they do this income study?
What they'll go is they'll do some door-to-door. They might even be asking some for some of Tom and I's help. And we've done that before. The council's been awesome, and the EDA has gone door-to-door before. And they'll show us what needs to be done and what needs to be gotten from the homeowners to get onto this list. But this is the income eligibility survey, and then there would be a grant writing fee also. Now, what you don't know is when we got this commercial and the residential grant, that totaled up to $1.43 million. Through UCAP, it cost us, I believe it was $36,000 for the total grant writing. So there would be another $30,000 during the grant writing process. That would be this coming April. So, but we need, in my opinion, we need to get onto this list. This is
potentially $60,000.
$60,000 to get $600,000. So there is no match. There is just the survey and then the grant writing fee, and then we get into this is something Brian Bollig personally came to me and said, you guys need to get onto this list. So it is tough. We've already started talking about it. 30,000 is a lot. 25,000. Val is already, she couldn't be here tonight, but she's already started working on the $5,000 just to get ahead of that game. So what I'd like to do is use some of that money from the county, or looking at our budget with Tyler and figuring that out. If we don't get on the list by November 1st, we got to wait another year. And as Shane, I won't ask him to come up here again, we've got a couple of streets that might not last the next year or the next 2 years. So, but we cannot go through USDA, we cannot go through the whole phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 again. We don't have that. We have to get some more help.
I think it sounds like a good bet, and I would like to offer a motion that we adopt Resolution 2024-58, Task Order Number 2, Bowling Engineering Income Eligibility Survey.
Second.
First and second, anybody have anything else to add to that?
My only question, I think this is good, and it's kind of a no-brainer, $60,000 to hopefully get $600,000.
Hopefully 1.2 million if you get it
Yeah.
2 years and 4 years, yeah.
But with the county's ARPA money, is that what we're hoping to spend on the SCADA system?
No.
Okay.
No, not right now. That'll actually be, you'll learn about that next Wednesday a little bit. Shane will be talking a little bit about possibly where we're going to be getting that money. Yes, that could be a piece of it. There'll be a sheet next week that Tyler and I will have come up with about where the extra money will come from this coming year. We're looking forward to that meeting. It'll be preliminary, it ain't gonna take us long, but you'll go home with a lot in your mind and on what.
There's a lot of plates spinning, and my plates are getting a little tipsy.
Yep. And
I just want to straighten them out a little bit more so something doesn't fall.
And I discussed this with Bollig also, going, okay, this is because they already know, this is what we have through the ineligibles, this is what we have through that we have sitting at ARPA money right now, this is what we're going to get all the way down to extra money out of what we've made on the investments that we've had through having that property O'Brien Court sitting there for 2 years, that money all sitting there. All of this you're going to see next week.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Roll call, please.
Van Dyke.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Heinrichs. Schmidt.
Yes.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Cheeks.
Aye.
Mayor Carter.
Aye.
You're really throwing her for a loop tonight.
Did he say yes? Okay.
She can't hear you.
I can't hear nothing.
No, I think just having the different name and the different, yeah. So,
Yeah.
last one I got here, Mayor, Resolution 2024-59, approved contract with Minnesota Energy to install natural gas on Front Street. The Front Street only has property, if you know the area out there, only goes up to right behind the Peterson's house. As easy as that's as far as gas lines go on Front Street. It didn't go up to the newer houses. Brian and Beth Lanou don't have gas up to their house. These 2 new houses that we're putting in, potentially up to 3 and 4 eventually, we need gas up the Front Street.
So that cost
And that can be bored in. I just got the amount, $236. Yeah, so that is a very small amount for us to be able to have. Then we have we have gas all the way up to the end. I don't want these 2 new houses to have propane tanks in their backyard. I understand why I have one at my house, because I live out in the country, but I don't see that we need to have people with propane tanks in town anyway. And I know that money is eligible through that ARPA money for $6,236.74. So I'm positive that's where we can get that money.
So then is there possibility of, like, if Lanús or somebody wanted to connect, they could?
If they want. Yeah, they want, because we'll put it all the way up there.
And there'd be no charge to them.
Yeah, well, we would all put it up there. It'd probably have to be stubbed into their house.
Yeah.
But yes, that's...
It makes sense for them to do that.
Yeah. But that is put into the budget already for the houses themselves. That was a part of the program where, so yes, to the Lanús and to the Dolls would have to pay for it to go from up to their, stub it into their house someplace. But it makes sense, and that's the infrastructure money that we have that we can use, that $6,000 at least.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-59 to approve the contract with Minnesota Energy to install the natural gas on Front Street.
And I'll second it.
Does anybody else have any questions, comments? Okay, roll call.
Cheeks.
Aye.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Heinrichs.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Van Dyke.
Aye.
Mayor Carter.
Aye. All right.
That's what I got.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Well, then, all of us in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Motion carried.
Hey, you made it.
Going on
Good luck,
maternity
Bear.
leave on the police department?
Yeah, see you, Bear. Been fun.
Out yet tonight.